The latest in China trade negotiations. Marc Short, Chief of Staff to Vice President Mike Pence. Good afternoon to you, Marc. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me on today.
What's your take on this? Does phase one have to be signed before there can be any further reduction, rollback, whatever the word is, on tariffs?
I don't know that it's a have to be, Wolf. I think the president's been clear that he's not advocating yet rolling back tariffs, but I think it's important to note that he did agree to delay the current or the announced increase in tariffs as these round one negotiations go on. And the feedback that we get from Secretary Mnuchin and Ambassador Lighthizer is productive negotiations, and so we're very optimistic that round one will be completed and hopefully signed before the end of this year.
In terms of that timeline, Marc, I mean, you got another tranche of tariffs that's expected to go into place on December 15th. Is that the timeline we're working with right now?
Morgan, I think that it's likely within that timeline. I don't want to try to tie Mnuchin and Lighthizer's hands to a specific deadline because I don't think there is one. But the September 15th, October 15th round that was delayed has continued to be in abeyance, and I would expect that as we approach December 15th, hopefully before then everything is locked up.
Marc, is it fair to say that your boss, the vice president, has a tougher view, a tougher stance on China perhaps than the president does today? Maybe they were seeing eye to eye originally, but with the president slightly softening his position, is the vice president's view tougher now?
No, Wolf. I think that they're pretty much in lockstep. I think that it's hard to find an administration that has reset the relationship better than this administration has. I think for the last few decades, ever since China was allowed in the World Trade Organization, there was a hope and a belief that other freedoms would follow, and we haven't seen that in China. We haven't seen a discontinuation of the human rights abuses, the persecution of religious freedom. We've continued to see intellectual property theft. We've continued to see them operating in the way that the Communist Party of China always operated. But if you actually look at the vice president's remarks, he went through this very carefully with the president. We highlighted all those abuses, but the vice president very clearly said, for those of you who think we're trying to decouple from China, absolutely not. We're looking to negotiate with China. We're looking to work with China. But it means we also have a realistic view of what the future holds. And it's not a naive notion that if you just allow more trade and you allow them in the World Trade Organization, that all of a sudden China will change. We haven't seen that in 25 years. And instead, they've become a greater national security threat to the United States. And this administration has a very clear-eyed view on that.